welcome to Mostly Laughter, Some Slaughter, the
In
Eschaton,
space.
where the well, okay. So there's two things going on here. One, we're going to be playing a Powered by the Apocalypse hack that I've been working on that is sort of epic transhumanist sci-fi uh, with hopefully a uniquely personal bent as well. But the other thing we're doing is watching to see if Jay throws up on stream, which will
Yeah.
which I'll need to make a clip of and put up on YouTube just because you know.
He's so amazing.
Amen, boys and girls.
Yeah, I
You
want
heard it first, much of the dismay of everybody else around you.
There we
So
are.
how are you guys? Other
Good.
than possibly nauseous.
I'm feeling kind of funky, thank you.
I was noticing that my camera's a little off, Brad. You didn't tell me because I cannot
Well, I
apparently
just-
tell in Skype.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay, man.
Well, I adjusted and
I'm
now
here today, by the
I'll
way.
probably adjust again.
I'm also noticing that every time I play, I think my camera's getting fuzzier and fuzzier and fuzzier. I think I'm
That's
going to have to
the-
throw down for a new
yeah,
camera.
It was
That's
clear
because-
enough, and now it's super. Okay, it's starting to res. Okay.
It's starting to res, and am I like completely out of my picture now? Oh my god.
We see your profile
No,
of
that's
your
perfect. You're good.
Am I good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, there we
Okay,
go.
I'll see if it catches up on the Twitch.
Okay.
Hi,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah,
I
don't
might be
move.
only half ahead.
Yes. And that's what you get for making fun of the computer. All hail the computer.
All hail the
All hail
computer.
the computer.
Oh.
Don't buy your webcams at a bargain shop for $8.
I think we're full of beans today. You have been warned, audience. And
Hooray. Serious transhumanism, everybody. Serious transhumanism.
Oh yeah.
there's transhumanism is serious business.
Yeah, this
In
is
theory.
this is hard science fiction. There won't be any silly or even space opera elements at all. No.
Well, I might thank you though, Brad. Even though it's not technically transhuman, it's kind of. This is now basically a week away to my favorite TV show coming on for its last season, and I'm so excited. And that is going to be Orphan Black, which is so good.
It is.
Or if you ever want to see a show that stars somebody with multiple personality disorder.
Done well.
Done well.
Very well.
Anyway, so what are we doing today, Brad?
Well, okay. As I recall, where we left off with this set of characters was that. Let me see. Your agent Jay was aboard Chris's crew as they boarded a ship that looked like it was escaped. Then it looked derelict, and then there was horrible alien, John Carpenter-esque things on it.
Yes.
Your agent got infected, but it was, it wasn't clear to anybody else that had occurred, and you went back to rejoin the crew.
And I lost
But,
the best damn first officer of all time.
Yeah.
You have such a good memory for this stuff. My God.
But your actual PC is fine. He's
That's right.
off in his office building or whatnot. We should talk a little bit about where he's set up and that sort of thing, because I'm not sure if we have. If we have, I don't recall that.
You never know.
An undisclosed location.
The undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location out of Siberia.
Yes.
Because I don't.
Well, okay. So speaking of outer Siberia, Leo, your character Wilhelmina had a force of people closing in on the on someone who had attacked one of her trucks, and we did it as sort of a cliffhanger. You were like about to smash it into this like shack in the middle of nowhere where you had tracked him down to. But before we jump into that, let's talk a little bit about each of your. Actually, a couple of things. I want to talk a little bit about each of your like cultures and setups and that sort of things. And we do need to rework a couple of things because the game system has gone through a number of revisions since we last played with these characters.
For sure.
Yeah. And also, flaws hasn't even been instituted yet, and you'll need to pick 2 each.
A flaw.
Flaw.
I love flaws.
Disruptor major product or the player?
Those are the personal. Excuse me. Those are the personal scenarios.
Okay.
And we can touch on those as well. Although those should be still in place and right from when we first created these characters. But we can talk about them for a bit. And should.
So.
Because there's a couple of things I'm not perfectly clear on as to the nature of them.
Fair enough.
Where would you guys like to start on all of that?
Where are the flaws?
Okay. So, they are. We'll need to copy pasta them off of the template characters. Way at the bottom of all the handout stuff, there's like a citizen template, a composition template, and a regional intelligence director template. The flaw section off of any of those should be the same, so you can just look at the faults there and pick 2 that fit your characters and just add to your existing character sheets. Ideally between look and moves, and just.
So our faults / flaws.
Oh, it's faults, not flaws.
That's fine. Whatever. Fault in our stars. It's all good. So the only thing is, is it kind of like the body tag thing where they don't really have specific stats to them? Is this the kind of a role-playing device?
Yeah, they are not defined in mechanical terms.
Cool.
It's but they do have a mechanical effect. They are intricately tied to advancement.
This is new.
Yes. So anytime you act out one of your flaws in a way that either like pushes the story forward and makes things interesting, or that makes things more difficult for your character, you essentially mark XP, and when you get to 5 XP for your first advancement, or the number of times you've advanced plus 5, you gain an advance and can either bump up a stat or
we will have to
add
talk
a new
about
move.
this.
At this point, the game's still in development, and I haven't made any of these advanced moves, but we can like define a custom one that like fits your character if you want to do that.
Oh, we will definitely have to talk about this. So, is there a maximum number of time per session you can act out your faults?
No, you can go crazy.
You can go crazy.
Okay, I got mine.
Yeah, it may turn out that having that open and letting you go crazy may become a problem, but you know, until it does, I certainly want to leave it that way because I think that will add to
Yeah.
in principle it'll add to the story and it's all good.
Yeah. Could I recommend we start with just one or two, just to give it through its merits before we go hog wild?
Oh no, it's just one or two, or
Yeah. Okay.
it is exactly two. The
Yeah.
way that they're usually applied is when you make the character, you add one, and then during or at the end of the first session, you add a second, and then anytime after that, you can add a third, and it's three total.
Okay. Put me down for childish and debauched. Done.
I love it. That totally fits.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
doesn't-
and
shit.
I realized that, or just now realized that all the names are in the wrong places. So I will fix that as you guys pick
It
All
is
the
all
names
good.
are the wrong places? What?
on stream.
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, that's fine.
So you say.
That could be my
I think
meddlesome
I say a lot of
nature.
things, man.
That could be my meddlesome nature. I am going to be meddlesome. And what goes good with meddlesome? That one might be too hard to role play.
Okay, fair enough.
Let me see here. Meddlesome's easy.
Okay. Leo, do you have any ideas what you want to play for flaws or anything like that?
Yeah, I picked paranoid, smartass, and spiteful.
Sounds about right. Yay. Now, I guess we're going to have to get things together here. But I'm a man with a mission. The Elder Horrors killed my dog. You've seen John Wick? Now imagine that with a starship.
What is so I'm gonna oligarchy secret society? Ooh.
Okay, so anybody want to do anything funky while we're waiting, or
So I think we've got I think we've got all the faults picked. Sounds like.
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna
so-
try this one. It's outside my comfort zone because I'm not. No, I
Oh.
don't know. That's hard.
Or
No, you guys
you're
keep
still
on
doing
going.
it?
It's gonna take me like 10 years to decide on one.
Okay.
Oh, that's one.
Okay.
Mm,
So I think the next thing we need to do is revise organization stuff, and that
Okay.
should be pretty easy. Um, so your characters right now have like sliders for a bunch of the
Yes.
describing your organization. You can just
Yes.
delete those. We're just
No.
using the descriptors.
Okay.
But those descriptors now have a mechanical effect, and I don't think they did before.
Okay.
Oh, now that's confusing. Okay, hang on.
So get rid of the organization, the influence, control, moral, and autocratic, and all that.
No, okay. So the organization stats should probably be the same. But,
Okay.
Yes. The scripters, not so much the autocratic bureaucracy.
All right, so I need to pick
So
a
there is a
surplus.
handout for organization descriptors that describes what each of them does. So make sure that you still want the same descriptors that you originally chose. Just because if it has like a mechanical effect that really bugs you, and there maybe another descriptor that still fits what your organization is or your concept of it, then this is a great time to make a switch.
Okay. Where's the list? The new one.
Okay, so
They are going to
under
be
handouts,
underneath your character.
Yeah, under handouts, there's organization descriptors, which describes them all.
I see it. Thank you.
Mhm. Ooh, let's see here.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think when the game is a little bit more developed, I definitely want to have like on the character sheet a I think I'm gonna like list out each of the basic moves or like basic and organization moves, uh, so that you can have for quick reference any bonus or penalty applied, so that you don't have to spend a long time like uh, looking for any +1 or -1 that may be hidden in there. Uh,
Some of these do not go good together. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
what do you have in mind?
Sorry. Yeah, I was looking at like some of these are just like complete opposite ends of the spectrum. I'm not sure how this is gonna work.
I got a constitutional democracy.
I have a communist republic. Big surprise.
Sweet. Where is the Republic? I'm not seeing it here.
It's like the third down.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
Ah, how does that work? I don't even know how that works. Oh my God, Jason's gonna have to spend 10 years deciding on this. Okay.
Oh, hell.
I am going to have an autocratic direct democracy. You figure out how the fuck that works. Because my brain imploded immediately.
Yeah, I think those two are essentially mutually exclusive. Like they,
Yeah.
Or are they? Where every 10 years, every agent gets to vote and everybody gets one vote. And then the person who gets elected becomes the autocratic for 10 years.
yeah. Well, okay. You could have you could potentially have an autocratic um, like representative democracy, but if it's a direct democracy, then people get to vote on all sorts of policy issues. Uh, it's not just during elections; it's like all the time.
Ooh, that's
Whereas
even more fun.
if it's autocratic, then you as the ruler can alter laws on change laws on a whim, and all power rests with you.
Oh, that sounds awesome. We voted on this. No, you did not.
Oh,
No,
God.
sorry.
Well,
feel
okay,
like it.
no. Come to think of
I
it,
will go with a bureaucratic autocracy.
okay.
I will not.
I mean, if you really want to have those two together,
No.
you could. It could just be like, officially it's a direct democracy, but you but in the way things actually play out, it's essentially not like you override the votes, regularly, and
I am being really mean.
okay.
No,
Yeah.
I'll just go with my original. I
Well,
just saw
actually,
those two,
the
and
best
I had to.
describe that would be the Senate in Star Wars. You know,
Yeah.
and like Senator Palpatine, you got voted into military power. You're basically like military police. So you have complete control over the Senate because you're at war, right? And something like that.
Man, oh, man. I feel like,
That makes sense or no? I don't know.
No,
okay.
it does. Everybody thinks they're voting, but they're not.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I could say
amazing.
something, but I'm not going to. Okay. What would be the best combination to do essentially sexy Star Trek? I got about 4 different ways to do it. I'm just trying to see how.
But one is Star Trek's.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Bureaucratic
It's a
Boogaloo.
federation. We know that. It's a
it would
federation.
probably be bureaucratic egalitarian
Egalitarian sex party.
Yeah. Fortunately, that's not a choice. I'll go for. Okay, it's
And
got to be.
maybe constitutional.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the Constitution would be kind of like the prime directive almost.
Yeah, constitutional egalitarians. That works because we're not really bureaucratic.
So I need to pick one from.
Yeah, and
Because I
as
have that for a
citizens,
surplus.
um, Prometheus and Wilmina, you should have between 3 and 5 organization descriptors. Malik, you just choose 2.
Surplus. But I get a surplus.
Okay.
Ooh.
So yeah, the definitions of the surpluses and wants are under handouts. It's the first one, and those have mechanical effects
Ooh.
when they're active. Uh, just because you have them listed doesn't mean that they're affecting you right now.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you mentioned surplus and want because we before we begin like in character play, we need to uh, you actually don't need to make a roll, but Wilhelmina and Prometheus will.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, actually, so while you're still picking.
So did
Right.
the major fret stuff all go away too?
No. We can.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Yeah.
I still have those down. I just want to make sure I'm not erasing anything that I shouldn't be erasing. That's all.
Okay.
Awesome.
But Prometheus and Wilhelmina, you picked both faults and organization descriptors. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So let's let's talk a little bit about both of your societies. So let's start with Wilhelmina. So as I recall, and open your let me open your character sheet while I'm looking at this. Okay, so okay, so you chose. I know you had communist. What's the other? What are the others? I don't see them.
I'm still working on my last organization district there,
Oh,
but I
okay.
got rid. And
Okay, so just hasn't updated. Okay.
yeah, I'm still on. Sorry.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
No worries, man.
So yeah, let me. I'll give you some more time. Let's in that case, let's look at Prometheus Jones.
Sure. Okay, where do you want to start?
Okay, so Boogie World.
Yes.
Uh, so you went with egalitarian constitutional. What was the
Yes.
third? I don't.
Okay, I actually didn't pick a third. I didn't realize I needed a third, so therefore I will grab it right now. One moment.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Tell you what,
one of my agency resources changed.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
it went down one. Sorry.
Oh,
thing is, I'm going to go for direct democracy just to make things interesting.
Okay.
to direct democracy, everybody gets a vote on what kind of beer to serve.
You're darn right. Start it going. So, direct democracy, constitutional egalitarian society. We have the Dude Code, which has been canonized in Boogie World.
The Dude Code.
It is a set of sacred texts passed down since the last frat party.
So let me see. I guess it is a little bit tricky for you to get your way in terms of pushing society to do what you want.
Well,
But
they
you
seem
probably
to do
have
what
a pretty good rep and stuff like that. Let's
Yeah.
look over these.
Yeah, basically, it's essentially 70s Star Trek done with a more of a disco feel. So, yeah, there's a reason we orbit a gas giant. Giggity, giggity.
Oh, this might be the only reason I'll definitely probably have to get a subscription for Roll20 eventually, and then like spend my summer like learning how to build character sheets so I can build a character sheet for you. Because this is definitely setting off my OCD for building character sheets right now.
Okay. But yeah, no,
Yeah. Like I've fiddled with CSS like once or twice in my life. But,
Yeah,
I've done it a little bit more with HTML.
little much.
But yeah, I would love to put together like a nice character sheet, and I'll need
I
you
can't remember what
or I'd love your help. That'd be awesome.
no, it's fair.
I know nothing about CCS, so that'd be awesome too. Yay! I'm just saying it's setting off all my OCD. That's all.
Okay, so now how many powers do we get for the thingy, or do I need to think for my personal character? Because I got my flaws, I got my setup here. What else do I need?
So you have the in terms of moves, you have World Ruler, and I assume that and then you get one other. I assume that you're taking benefit of the doubt over it rather than barbaric control.
Yeah, benefit of the doubt makes a lot more sense.
Barbaric control.
Hey man, you gotta trust,
You do.
society here, and that's why we end up with all the best parties, man. Except for those dang halflings that are all nearly connected on the other side. They're the party poopers, man. That's some crazy project. No time for fun, and they keep stealing our kegs, man. That's just not cool, We go invade them, but honestly, we'll get to it eventually. Yeah. And they said something about Dyson. I don't know who he is, man, but I sure would like to meet him one day. Sounds like a cool person. Yes, I'm cross-referencing the games.
Which is fine, because I think they're, they are in the same system, right? Yeah, they're represented right there.
Yeah, they're literally across the same gas giant on the other side of the globe here, which means one day Prometheus Jones is going to wake up and there's going to be a freaking Stargate at 3 different points trying to create a Dyson world. And that's when stuff gets real, man.
Okay.
Okay.
And I don't think those changed, did they?
So
bonds, right? Yeah.
Let me, anybody, let me know when you've finished picking.
I am good to go.
Organizational descriptors. Okay.
Mine, I think, is easy.
Okay. So yeah, let's look at Wilhelmina and Hologram. That is the name of your world, right? Hologram.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you took benefit of the doubt also.
Hologram.
Okay. And so what were the organizational descriptors?
Communist Republican autocracy. Autocracy. It should be at the bottom.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Or as we like to call them,
autocracy. Ooh.
Yeah.
Gnarly. Okay. And I guess it's another one. Is it another one of those situations where officially it's a republic, and they have votes to for leaders, but uh, as the Supreme Soviet, Wilhelmina actually decides how the actual result of those elections, and it's uh, and if the wrong person gets elected, they're shot. Is that how it works? Or they're sent to the gulag?
Yeah, because that's communist China right now. You know, they have election system. They have like a prime minister of China or whatever, but the actual leader of China is somebody else, right? So I am not.
Or are you not actually elected and you're like behind the scenes, but in complete control?
I am complete control, but the other part is like basically like a puppet government. They're like, I'm the one that's laying down the laws, and they're like, oh yeah, we voted. It gives people power, you know. And I mean, it's also because we are union, right? We're kind of union civilization, so we have votes to vote for who's in charge of the union and union representatives that talk to me about any problems. So it's kind of in that sense is like it's more think of it as the whole world is a member of one union,
Mm-hmm.
and so they vote for they vote for who's in charge of that union, and that person comes to me, basically.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Consensus through order.
Yeah. So if the truckers want something, they go to the union comes to me and says, hey, this trucker says XYZ has happened, and I decide whether or not it's a valid problem or it's something that they can live with. Like,
The priority.
yeah.
Okay, so and trucking is a very key element of society. Yes.
Right.
Okay. So and these trucks, are they like uh, a modern equivalent, or are they? Is it just like you made sure that uh, was there like a because people like trucking, it's been it's artificially in place, or is it that there's like environmental conditions that make uh, like air travel uh, not work very well in like specific areas where like the heavy mining is going on, and the planet thrives on mining this material that's hard to synthesize,
Yeah.
and
Well,
it just needs to be transported somehow. Got trucks.
yeah, that's our choose environmental challenge and extreme storms.
Okay.
So that's probably why we don't fly around. Is because we need trucks. And I don't know, is there space truckers exist or no?
There certainly could be, yeah.
No. So we also transport goods by space as well.
Okay.
In the same mindset of the trucker mentality, but it's totally like, our trucks are like top of the line all the time. We try to keep them. The ones on the ground are top of the line. The ones that go into space, but each trucker has to pay for his truck, type of thing. So it's paid for by the trucker.
Well, I mean, it's communist, right? So aren't all the trucks owned by the state?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I imagine each trucker is responsible for their truck. So
exactly.
If their truck gets damaged, then they could end up in the gulag for a tenor or longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something that they could have prevented. Then, yeah. Obviously, trucks break down. Things always break. It's just a matter of what things happen. And I mean, the union holds a certain standard of living for truckers. Like Like if you rear end somebody, it's your fault. There's like a list of stuff. Like
You'd think a communist society would have no fault insurance, but that's just me.
I mean, yeah, the communist their insurance. I mean, on our side, if you get in an accident with someone else who is a member of our society, then it's all taken care of. But outside, in space, if you hit something else that is owned by somebody else, then the government pays for it.
Yeah, okay. I may be unduly influenced by reading a Russian author named Solzhenitsyn, who like describes the Soviet Gulag system in excruciating detail, and the communism as practiced on hologram may be very different from as it was in the USSR. But under the USSR, it was gnarly. Like there was like a quota for at certain times. There was a quota for how many people they needed to arrest to keep the Gulag system running. So there'd be if something like a truck breaking down would be a prime reason to put someone in jail for 10 years, even if it wasn't their fault. Anytime there's a problem, it can't be a problem of the society. It can't be the government's fault. It must be somebody's a wrecker, or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But this is your society. You get to decide how it works. I just have these ideas.
Yeah, I imagine that there's like in if you have a speeding ticket, you spend hundreds of dollars. In this communist society, you get a speeding ticket, it's like you could get your license revoked, you could lose your job, or like you don't truck for a while. And I think that's kind of the way our prison system works. It's like we basically put people in prison that I guess deserve to be in prison, and it's like horrible, and it's like a paperwork nightmare to get out. Once you're in, it's like. And so that's kind of how it works. Is like in DUIs, we don't mess with like you get a DUI, it's like committing murder.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're like you don't disrespect a truck like that, like getting drunk and driving.
Could I recommend the name of your detention center? The Truck Stop.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like because
the impound. Impound.
If your wheel is turning, you're making money. If you can't drive, then so it's not like a modern gulag society like you think. I think it's just more like they're stuck in that truck stop until they get clearance to drive again. So they could be literally on another planet for years trying to get clearance to drive again so they can come back home.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how it works.
Okay.
Cool.
So they're living off their truck for 2 years, which, trust me, I lived on a truck for 3 days as a truck driver. That was not fun.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I drove it, living out of a truck sucks.
Yeah, I can imagine that could suck.
I don't know. Some people might like it, though. Sorry.
So,
okay.
Let me see. Do I have any other questions? Do you have any questions for me?
The only big one that might come up in play that I do get the concept of, but maybe it's just because my brain is Swiss cheese and I forget things as soon as they enter it.
Mm-hmm.
Reading
like
the bureaucracy.
Sieve.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The steel sieve. It's like made out of like fucking spaghetti. So what we have here is under bureaucracy, under bureaucratic as the organizational move descriptors. We have used a 4 o'clock rather than a 2 o'clock when adding or removing descriptors. And when resurrecting, you may use a 4 o'clock to add or remove descriptor. So what is the difference between a 4 o'clock and a 2 o'clock? Because I'm familiar with like kind of the concept of like the clock for apocalypse systems, but I don't. Is that like 2 ticks instead of 1 tick?
2 ticks instead of 4 ticks. Yes.
So it's going to take me 4 ticks, but not 2 ticks. And you as the game master kind of determine when the ticks happen, correct?
The ticks are well, to some
Like,
degree
is
they're
it-
mechanical. There are definitely
Yeah.
some moves that will like advance a clock.
Advance the clock.
But also, since we're doing since the common threat is Lords of the Outer Dark. I'll also between between each scene where one of you is featured, I will make some sort of move which could be advancing a clock.
Cool.
Sweet.
Oh, I gotta liberate a barbaric world.
Yes.
I also have to get back at Leo for besmearing my reputation somehow.
Oh yeah. Okay. So before we move on, from Wilhelmina, let's see. You have a disruptive major project that was tied into mining, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So did we nail down exactly what it is that you're mining? What
You came up with something like it was very valuable. I don't know.
Okay.
But our
I may
planet
have just called it like unobtainium or something silly.
Yeah.
That sounds sort of familiar.
It does.
Truck nuts. I mean, wait.
So, do you want to just say that it is this this valuable stuff that your people have never that that is valuable, but you've never analyzed to realize what the ramifications might be of mining it, or do you want to define it?
Well, I think I'm pretty sure we would hopefully know what it was and how much it was worth before we started mining it. But I think the ramifications of mining it, maybe the reason why there's extreme storms and maybe the world spirit's not happy with us.
Okay.
Because we're basically if you actually seen like a mining facility where they dig down and there's like this massive hole in the earth, of just circles and circles, and that's like dotted all over our world. Like,
Okay.
we're doing it as much as we can to get all this material out, and so screw the environment. It makes us money, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way we can pay for everybody's. The money comes to the government, and then the government gives it out to everybody else. That's how it works, right? Communism.
Essentially, yeah. I think generally under communism, all the productive apparatus is owned by the government, and then the is owned by the government, or theoretically by the people, but in the form of the government. And then
The people's government.
Those resources are taken and then distributed to the people, but not necessarily in the form of money. But it could be the direct goods and services, rather, and with money never being involved.
Yeah. I think that's the case. If you want to make the minerals on there to be weird or stuff like that, like we never looked at, that's cool too. I mean, I don't mind.
No. We
just a matter of whether or not
No, I mean, it seems like where you're going with it is that that you realize that digging up is causing all this environmental damage, and you more or less know why, uh, but it's vital to the economy, and that you don't want people to starve. So it's like,
Hooray!
which way do you go?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the big case there.
Okay, sounds good.
What is
Um,
this way?
Okay, and then on
I know.
the Hacker Vendetta, that I did have a name for the group that was messing with you that I totally forgot, and I didn't love the name anyway. Um,
Yeah, I think we kind of made a throw on there that like Jason, because we're smartasses.
Yep.
I remember that we go on, we create memes. We're rednecks. We create memes. So that could be the case. I mean, like we're rednecks. We don't like we found something valuable. We'll sell it. Whatever. Someone wants to buy it. We'll buy it. We'll sell it to you. You know. So we create memes. So like we're just like smartasses. We like to make fun of people. We see someone like someone goes on your version of Twitter or something like Donald Trump made that weird tweet about Gafafi or something.
Kofifi!
Topical.
Ever thing ever.
Exactly. We would be the first ones to jump on that bandwagon. Like we would be there. We're the ones like
least offensive thing he's ever said on Twitter.
Yep.
So,
yeah, and we're like
or anybody said on Twitter.
Because it's a made-up word.
so we're basically internet trolls. Is basically what we are, and we do it just for fun. We just like to do it. It's fun.
And it's not so good for me. No, sir.
Yeah, I think it was the Bright Frame Brigade that was the.
The Bright Frame Brigade.
Yeah, I should just change it. But,
Bright Brigade.
Yeah, I mean, if any of you guys have an idea for a better name for these sort of militant hackers from Zolthus, which is this planet that's like right on the edge of the habitable zone, and sort of hellish, and the most of the residents are.
Wait, what is the spelling of the name of this planet? Is this the one that I'm trying to liberate as well?
Yes. The very
Oh,
same.
well, I know what my organization is calling them, but that's okay. Endangered.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'm going to go with, I guess, until we come up with something better, it's the Bright Flame Brigade.
Bright Flame.
Let's come up with
So,
BFB.
let's actually advance things, rather than jumping
Sounds good.
around and doing more narrative stuff before, and we'll go back to doing a little bit of narrative stuff with the other characters right after we resolve this this cliffhanger. And before we even do that, Wilhelmina, I need you to make a world ruler roll to see how your society is doing as we open.
All right, so that's based on what? Swap.
Suave, yes.
That's +2, and do I have any bonuses to that? Let me just check. +1 to world ruler. Oh, autocracy is -2 to world ruler. Is that right? So
No, no, no. Autocracy is +2, and then Republic is -1. So it's a +1, and then you're suave.
so
No,
total
Chris.
how much?
What?
So total of how much?
uh, and your suave is +2, so it's a total of +3.
Oh, very nice.
Dang.
Okay.
Oh, that's super high in the system.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, so things are actually going. Despite this, one shipment getting disrupted, things are going pretty well. Um,
Yeah.
what were what was your what was your surplus?
What?
Uh,
I couldn't find that on the character sheet, boss.
oh, okay.
Surplus? Mineral rich? Or no, what are we talking about? Oh, the wants? Yeah, I couldn't find that anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Surplus and lots.
So
Yeah,
let's pick that
Surplus.
now.
right on top.
So under handouts, it's the first entry surplus and want.
Yeah. And
So the options for surplus are vacation destination, which is that you gain +1 rep because people visit you often. Growth, your people are growing. Party, drugs, violence, political activism, scientific inquiry.
They all go together.
nice. I think we're gonna go with. I think we're gonna go with growth.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, be sure to write that down, and then somewhere beside it, mark that that it has been activated once. So uh, uh, if you manage to activate it 2 more times uh, before anything that causes you to lose population, then it'll go up 1 size category. If you're already at nation size, then uh, then there's it protects you against schism, or growing smaller and bad things happening.
Hmm.
Okay, and
Ooh.
be sure to choose a want, which is not active right now, but could happen right at very soon, because you're about to engage in direct conflict against these hacker terrorists.
Is the want? I think I have want on there because I have. I think I choose two. Population is drug supported or what? Want plus idle, and then population is preserved and unstable. Want to anxiety. Is that it?
Oh, okay. So, yeah, you have two of them, and it's so anxiety and drugs are your wants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Because when truckers don't get what they want or whatever, then they start getting drunk and stuff like being stupid.
The vodka flows.
The vodka flows. Yeah.
All right. Um. So, uh, uh, when we left off, you had forces closing in on this bright flame brigade ne'er do well in a shack, and it had seemed like uh, it was just like a simple arrest, no problem, but but no, I'm going to have you roll uh, direct conflict
Okay.
because there is a chance of it going quite badly. Um,
Ooh.
so roll plus control, and
Plus, yeah, +2.
okay,
Control. Okay. 2d6 plus 2. 7.
all right.
Direct conflict control.
Okay, so I will start a clock towards. Well, okay. What in uh, uh, in arresting this guy? Are you looking, or in sending in forces? Are you trying to just neutralize the hackers on your on your planet, or do you are you trying to accomplish something else?
Yeah, I'm just neutralizing the threat.
Okay. Um, so,
Don't mess with our trucking business.
yeah. So I will start a. Uh, this over here. Move this out of the way. Uh, so I'm going to start a clock towards neutralizing them. And I need you to choose one thing from the list. Either you lose a morale, your one of your organization's wants is activated, or you gain a new but as yet inactive want.
I think one of the wants is activated,
Okay.
which I believe. Wait a minute. So the wants are anxiety, desperation, right? Motivated. Is the wants under surplus and wants are on my character sheet? That's confusing. There's 2 wants that I have, so which one do I use?
You get to pick which one activates.
Well, no, I meant yeah, but which one? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's one on my character sheets. The choose 2 that we're talking about, probably to send a drug, and then the surplus and want handout. Which one do you want me to use? Is what I'm asking.
Okay, so you have uh, I'm sorry. On your character sheet, you have 2 wants, right? One of which is drugs, the other is anxiety. Correct?
I have drug and anxiety. Yes.
Okay. Uh, so uh, you so you get to pick which one of those 2 becomes active.
I think anxiety.
Okay. Okay. So let me make a note. Okay. So so I mean, essentially, you're uh, successful in this. In there's you know I think as you come in, uh, well, I think as you come in and storm in, like there's a bunch of uh, probably gas released or nuclear material found or something else that would uh, definitely send like shock waves through the populace as the situation not being under control. Um, but you tell me how it looks as you come in and either like annihilate this guy or arrest him, what have you.
So something causes anxiety of my people, right? So
Yeah, I mean,
um,
tactically you win, but there's something happens during this that causes people to become very edgy. What's going on?
I think we break into their system, and they're like, we're busting down the doors and getting all their computer equipment all sold up and everything. And I think we run across some information, um, like he had like a backup trigger, like you said, where it caused the manufacturer of our trucks or repair system to go down. And so now the truckers are all upset now because it's taking longer for us to repair their vehicles and causing everybody to get upset. So he's kind of like knew we were coming and he had like a fail safe and he's about ready to go out. He put a worm in our repair system, and so now we're trying to get rid of the worm, but it's causing huge chaos for repair equipment to get to the right place, and we have so much backlog of people and trucks not being fixed, which is huge problem.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that sounds good. Uh, so, uh, I think that as we uh, as we shift to uh, Malik, what is um, what is your title, Malik, as head of?
Ooh,
And what is the name of your organization? I don't.
Again, yeah. My organization is Mirza.
Mirza.
Mirage. The Mirage. Mirza. And as for my official title, I think the simplest and easiest title is director. Just director.
And Mirza is spelled Mirza.
Mirazh. Mirza. It's a real word, everybody.
So I think as we open, you are getting reports that for Mother Russia.
Well, it's kind of funny because, of course, I don't really have, and it's one of those things, I don't really have a planet per se. So whoever I'm working for, am I just working for myself? Or am I just an amalgamous secret organization that basically I do contract work, or am I doing this because it's the betterment of society and I'm basically like a rebel group that's very well organized?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's
before
questions.
before I mess with things, let's talk about that for a bit.
Yeah.
So you definitely you're definitely the head of uh, Mirza in this star system.
Hmm.
Um, it's up to you whether or not
It's bigger.
Mirza, yeah, whether or not it exists in other star systems as well, or if you're just like the overall head and it's local.
I think because I think for me keeping it local, but there might be multiple groups or maybe small splinter groups of Mirza, right? Because each group I'm imagining is probably the same size as mine, which is somewhere between 30 and 100 people, which is pretty damn small and universal scale for sure.
Yes.
So I think
Although
I think
I should point out that while uh, the
for
organization is
100
pretty small, it's
autocrats,
made up of autarchs, so
yeah.
they're all highly competent and
Hmm.
able to you know effectuate your
Hmm.
your directives, um, sort of on their own recognizance and with modern technology and understanding.
So I like to say that there's probably cells. There's cells of Mirza throughout. So there's probably another, like over the star system over there somewhere. There's probably another cell from Mirza run by another guy, much like me.
Okay.
But we don't necessarily always work together. We kind of work on our own little things, our own little thing. We might have like a once a decade meeting between the different groups to see what's going on.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. So multi-system but autonomous.
Multi-system but autonomous. Yes.
Okay. And so are you uh, as Malik based on any one world with you know uh, tentacles reaching to throughout the system, um, or are you just like run everything through uh, your one ship,
Um,
or
well,
what does that look
again,
like?
that's good. That's kind of one of those things. I have three ships, and
Oh,
these are
three
kind of
ships.
my
Yeah.
yeah, these are my three flagships, which are stealth ships, which is cool, right? And we probably have a base somewhere, but it's probably again because not to step on the toes of like a citizen or something like that. It's a little bit more as little. This is not quite as ranked. So I'm going to say that the ships probably serve as our primary. And what I probably do is I probably go from ship to ship to ship and kind of do the old kind of like you're following three cars down the highway and they all drive different directions. They all look the same. So you're not sure where the prey is gunned. That's probably how I usually run most of my life. Kind of idea. I probably spend most of the time on the ships because being on somebody else's planet is probably not a good idea. It's
Okay.
just not enough control for me being on somebody else's turf.
Gotcha. Uh, so what do these ships look like? Uh, I imagine just having the stealth system probably uh, probably is fairly technically challenging, even given sort of this uh, end given this post-singularity technology, um, just concealing a drive plume, making sure that the heat doesn't like radiate out, but it's somehow captured or shifted to an alternate dimension, something like that. Uh,
Yeah, they're probably not gigantic, like from a space point of view. They're probably kind of like maybe double the size of like a 747, which is like huge, but from a space point of view, is like freaking tiny little ant size,
mhm.
right? They're definitely all black. They're probably sleek looking, something maybe somewhere analogous to like an SR-71, I'm thinking. So think jumbo jet plus SR-71. That's what I'm kind of thinking. It's a big giant flying wings in space.
Nice. Let me jump back.
Simple and black.
Okay. So you you receive word from agents on Zolthus that there's definitely something up there. You definitely have heard that there was a disruption on hologram that involved the Bright Flame Brigade, which is these sort of, probably from your perspective, definitely like terrorist hackers that that don't necessarily control Zolthus. They're like a just a small segment of that society, but the powers that be there, while they definitely crack down on any sort of like independent political activity that threatens their government. They kind of give a wink and a nod to Bright Flame. But Bright Flame is definitely gearing up for something. You can look into that if you wish.
I would definitely look into that. So the question becomes, do I have agents on the planet? Because I don't have agents in every system. I did not take that.
Okay.
Because I took mass surveillance and immense budget as my two secondaries for my agency.
Okay.
So I do not have an agent.
Okay, yeah. In that case, you do not have any agents on Zolthus. You were remotely able to find out this much, probably through like modern, spying on Mindscape traffic, something like that. But
let's experiment.
You could try and establish someone there.
What I would like to do then is let's experiment with some of the rules. I would like, and I know this isn't in the spirit of Apocalypse World, but kind of like, okay, we need the scheme, we need to get people there, but we know that I can use my mass surveillance to look into what they're doing using some sort of sci-fi thing. Use your imagination. I can spend a rep.
Alpha chronometer.
Yeah, my alpha chronometer. I can spend 1 rep to assess any person location you are aware of, regardless of whether you or the agent is there.
Absolutely.
If something significant changes about the target, future uses of mass surveillance to assess have no rep cost. So I have a rep of 5 total because I +2 from my immense budget. So okay. I will like to spend 1 of my rep points to use my sci-fi, basically surveillance system. Basically, like maybe like almost like I'm imagining almost like a long range, like super accurate, like hollow emitter, so I can actually see what's happening on the planet without ever landing there. But the reputation cost is because it just costs so much energy and manpower just to get the fucking thing started up.
Sure. Do mark that you're down 1 rep for the rest of the session. But,
yeah, I'll let you know. I put that in
the... that does refresh between sessions.
It does refresh? Okay, that's what I wanted to ask about rep. So what I did for you, just let you know, is on my character sheet under attributes and abilities, I have rep under the attributes section, so I can just keep track of it there.
Cool.
Fair enough?
Yes, sounds good.
Awesome. So for my assessment, what do I roll for assessment? Are we?
That would be focus.
That would be focus. So let me do my
Yeah.
focus.
Unless I'm way wrong, but I don't think I'm. No, it's
I don't know. Oh,
focus.
let's see. Infiltrate. Those are organization moves. Sorry, these are basic moves, right?
Yes, it's a basic move.
Assess. So focus. Focus.
9. Okay.
9. So what does 9 let me do
Okay.
for
So you gain 1 hold. So you can ask any of the questions on that list,
Let's
and
see.
there's a handout for assess, so you can check
Yes.
them out.
So ensuring the action, you may spend 1 hold at any time to answer a question. From list below, examination could reveal the answer. What do I notice despite an effort to conceal it? So obviously they're trying to conceal what they're doing. So is there anything that I notice that they might be concealing, if that makes sense?
Okay.
Does that one make sense for our situation?
Yeah, totally. I think so.
Cool.
Uh, and are you assessing the world in general, or Bright Flame
No, Bright
specifically?
Frame specifically, because my machination for this would be, can I leverage Bright Flame to get what I want on the planet?
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Um, so it looks like what they're up to is that they are doing some intensive hacking on the local mindscape, uh,
Ooh.
trying to undermine uh, some of the system protections against uh, screwing with people's memories, sort of on a mass level.
Ooh. Ooh, that could be useful. Yes. So I guess, let's see. I guess since I don't actually have an agent there, we will have to make our way there, and I might have to see to this one semi-personally, let's say. I think we will have to make our way to this backwards world. So eventually we can we can aid them into understanding that organization is key. And Bright Flame might be our key to this. Yes. So yes, I think we will make our way to the planet.
Okay. So are you trying to infiltrate their organization? Is that
I think that would be our next step, is to infiltrate their organization. Yes.
all right?
Because asking them outright, like, hey, can we be buddies, is not the way we do things here.
No.
Mirza does not do that.
So, uh, how exactly are you going about that? Are you just like uh, landing a ship there and letting some people off, or do you have uh, are you getting people on the on like some other regularly scheduled flight, or
What
or
I would
something else?
think, what I think of, and it depends what my assess revealed about Bright Flame, is how does Bright Flame recruit? That would be the question. Because the way I would do it, and this is again Jason watching way too many creepypastas on YouTube, the way I would definitely do this is, instead of just like landing the stealth ship right out onto the planet, put it in orbit, and then from the ship, from one of the ships, the ship that I'm not on, get one of my autarchs to aid them in their hacking and basically offer our services as long as employment comes with it. And that's where my kind of like infiltration would start.
Interesting. Cool.
Get onto the payroll, as it were.
Okay.
Make ourselves look useful. And that's where that starts.
Sounds good. So, let's go ahead and do the influence move.
So infiltrate or influence? Influence?
Oh, it's the infiltrate move.
Okay.
You are rolling plus influence.
Ah, yes. Influence for the organization move. Yes. Thank you. So influence, which is not very super good. My morale's really good. Ooh, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's quite good.
Ooh, I get a +1/4 to other organization moves. Very nice.
And you have a agent in.
Nice.
They you know I imagine that they get a what is the name of those things?
Things? Describe things.
Um,
Things?
yeah, it's a species that I'm blanking on the name of. That I had images for. Let me see.
The species.
Yeah, non-humans, actual non-humans. Mostly because it, like, humans don't do well. People in human bodies don't do well on Zolthus. Most of the Zolfan year, it is too hot for liquid for liquid water. It just all evaporates, and it gets up to about I always screw up so the boiling point of water in Celsius is 100, right?
Yeah, because we base it on actual water, whereas in seawater, yes.
Yeah. So much of the year it gets up to like about 120 degrees Celsius.
Oh, so Californian from an Albertan's point of view. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Fall back. Sorry.
No, that's cool. Okay, I don't want to take too much time, but I do want to. I do have like a picture that I want to show. So if you
okay, I'm just imagining Bothams. That's what I'm imagining. Those mysterious Bothams. But yes, we will send in our special investigator. We will call him.
Smart.
Oh. Calm.
Doug.
Doug.
Special
Doug
investigator Doug.
Infiltrate. Doug 627.
He digs into everything.
Hashtag not all Dougs.
Not
Oh, that one.
Sounds missed, man.
Hashtag not all Dougs. Or hashtag all Dougs.
All Dougs matter.
They do.
No, Chris, bad.
Well, okay, yeah, that could be treading on uh, racist and sensitive territory.
X-carded. X-carded.
Fair enough. I will apologize to all dogs out there.
No, Chris. Oh my
Missing
god.
the point, but okay, we'll move on.
Oh, the game is
this
broken.
doesn't have it. Okay, so
Oh shit.
yeah. Damn it,
That's okay.
well, anyway.
If you find it later on, we can put it up later. That's fine.
Okay.
Generally speaking, is the species kind of like is it like like a carapace? Whoa!
So
Wow, that's a lot scarier than I was thinking.
yeah. So they're essentially they're constructed of a material that's referred to as hard light.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're essentially energy beings, but it's not just like amorphous energy. It's like in this uh, uh, cohesive matrix that allows them to actually move things physically.
That is actually literally quite scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Excellent. So I'm assuming your agent takes on one of their bodies to blend in better.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
I ain't going down there. No.
Do they reveal that they're working for this super secret organization and there to help you, or is this what is this agent's name for one, and are they how close to the vest are they playing things?
I think they're going to be playing it fairly close until we can get a little bit deeper, because it depends how far into the op we need to go with this one. I think again, yeah, we'll just go a simple name, just like Doug324. Okay, like this. Use his call sign, basically whatever call sign he is on the web or in the Mindscape, as the case may be, is the name he's going to go by, right?
Okay.
And yeah, he's gonna play. He's not gonna be like, "Hey, I work for Mirza. We're here to help you." No.
Okay.
I am an independent contractor, and I am here to help. All I want is a little piece of the pie. I believe in what you were doing. I believe that with our help, with my help, I can get others in, and we could not only bring down, or we can help like organize this world. My assumption is that if they are looking to mind control, that what Mirza's ultimate goal would be is to leverage that to his mind control the whole goddamn planet eventually. That is the ultimate long-term goal.
Okay.
And that's a long-term goal.
So let's definitely go to you next, Prometheus.
Yes.
But I do apologize. The time has flown. I think we should go ahead and take a short break.
Okay, that's fair.
That's okay.
Okay.
But we'll definitely open back up with you.
Okay, right on.
Okay. Give me a moment to do the thing.
You can do anything you want.
All right. Okay, so we will be back shortly. Please stick around.